don't throw it back. Well, guys, off to a good start.
I love the Coosa River, Neely Henry. Can't beat these spots.
All right.
That's a way to start the morning.
That's awesome.
I kind of started here. We're in a shad spawn, and there's been some shad in this grass, and it's a little late for the shad spawn, but I thought, what the heck, we'll try it, and dang near first cast, I caught this one, so hey, that'll work.
All right. Well, guys, while we wait on some more folks to jump in,
thank you, baby.
Dalton Thompson said that was quick.
That was quick.
Hey, guys, I need some thumbs up that you can hear us. We got good audio check last week. Got the same system set up, so give me some comments, some feedback that y'all can hear us just fine. We are out here with Miss Pam Martin-Wells on Neely Henry. All right, I'm seeing some thumbs up, so they must be able to hear at least me.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Audio is good. Thank you for the feedback.
I do love the Coosa River, Neely Henry spots.
Well, good morning, guys. So we are out here. We're going to see if we can find a few fish. Pam and her husband were gracious enough to come over and see about teaching some of us a thing or two. I'm looking forward to it. Well, we're out here on her brand new Camus. I think she's been enjoying it. We'll talk some about that today. I think we're going to have some unique perspective on maybe some of the college fishing world, which I'm looking forward to. I'm a father of a couple of daughters that aren't that far from college, so there's always some good questions. So guys, as always, comment those questions. We're going to give away some tackle packs. I think we're going to pick 2 winners today. So comment the questions, let us know where you're watching from, whatever, comment, and please share this feed. Let's get some folks on, enjoy this beautiful weather, and see if we can catch some fish. Well, Pam, that was a quick start.
Yeah, it was. You know, this is one of the most versatile places I've ever been to. You know, if you want to fish rocks, you can fish rocks. If you want to fish timber, grass, whatever. If you want to go upriver, you can catch spots. Mid-lake, you can fish largemouth. And I just love this place. Of course, it doesn't hurt. I've won 3 tournaments here, but you know, with this whole COVID-19 thing, we haven't been up here. We haven't been fishing. I hear it's kind of tough, but like I say, being versatile right now, there's all kinds of things going on. You got a shad spawn going on. You got some fish still trying to spawn, some post-spawn. So we're going to do a little bit of everything. If you look at the deck of my boat, I've got just about everything up here. You know, from shallow water, grass, to deep water. So we're just going to be real versatile, and that's one of the things I see a lot of people a lot of new anglers, let me rephrase that, make a mistake in, is that's not being versatile. They get one thing, they get stuck on it. You know, I may have 10 rods on my boat. I may not pick up but one sometimes, but if the situation arises, I've got it there. So that's a key to being successful, is being versatile. And we're gonna be real versatile today.
Well, guys, for those of you that have just jumped in and missed the first minute there, we already found one, put her in the boat. And so why don't we start with what are you throwing? What's your setup that you caught that one on?
Right now I'm just throwing a buzz bait. I got a white baby ribbit on there. Just trying to imitate these shad. You know, like I say, it's a little late for the shad spawn. They've already gone down, but obviously one was still hungry. So that's what we're doing. Just looking for a few fish left over that's still hungry.
Randall Carter said, "Tell G Mama we said hello."
That's right. Good morning, Randall. Thanks for joining us. You know, back when the Women's Bassmaster Tour had their first championship on Lake Mitchell, I met Randall Carter and his wife Amanda, and we became really, really good friends. And even way back then, they called us G-Mama and G-Daddy, which I'm dumb enough I didn't catch it to start with. They had to explain it to me because we're so much older than they are. But now Stephen and I have 2 grandsons, and lo and behold, we're G-Mama and G-Daddy. So, Randall, I don't have any fish life, but son, I usually don't leave the house without it. But don't have my new boat quite stocked yet. So, but if y'all haven't tried the Fish Life products, y'all need to try them, because I can tell you, Stephen and I had a tournament. Fish was bleeding. We used the first aid on it. I thought there's no way this fish is going to be alive. We put the treatment in there. When we got to the weigh-in, that was the most lively fish we've had. So, you know, that's products we don't leave home without during a tournament.
We've heard a lot of good feedback about the Fish Life products. So what kind of rod and reel setup you kind of prefer on the buzz baits?
Well, right now I've got this is a Lew's speed stick. It's a medium heavy action. It's got a good tip for throwing it and fighting the fish, but it's got enough backbone to get them out, because I'll be throwing this around some of the heavier grass today. So, you know, you want something to really be able to get them out. And this is just a little Lew's reel. These are the smoothest reels I've ever thrown. So, you got 17-pound, 16-pound gamma line.
All right. All right, Brent, watching from South Carolina. Thanks for joining us. Guys, let's get some questions rolling. This is a lot more fun when you don't have to listen to me talk and ramble on with questions. So,
well, they could probably hear us a lot better if it wasn't for all the traffic.
I think these mics, you guys, can y'all hear? We're underneath the bridge downtown, and it is a little loud with everything, but hopefully you can hear us all right with these microphones. So I will, while we're waiting on some questions to come in, I will remind everybody, if you are in the area, we've got the Camus Demo Day this afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock. We got, I think, all the boats on the water: the CX-20, the CX-21, and the CX-18. And another special treat, Mr. Earl Bentz is going to come hang out with us, sign some autographs, and talk about boats.
And I promise you, if you get in a Camus boat and take a ride for it, you'll be hooked. These are fine boats. We've had ours, I don't know, 6 months, maybe not quite 6 months, 4 months, and we absolutely love it. Stephen and I both are not getting any younger, of course, because I just said we got grandkids. But, and we both got bad backs, and I promise you, in rough water, this is the best boat I've been in. It does not hurt us at all.
Well, everybody's saying they can hear us just fine, so I think you and I, they're going to have a tough time hearing each other.
Yeah. Well, we won't stay here too long. Like I said, we're going to be very versatile today. We're going to try a lot of different things, so just stay with us. We may make a short move, but hang out with us. You can see the ride in the Camus.
Yeah, man. Dalton, watching from Pleasant Valley, about to head to Bucks Island, my normal Friday schedule. Dude, we appreciate that so much. Hope you're catching some stuff with all the tackle you're buying from the loft. I saw a question. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find. Watching from New Jersey. Thank you. Okay. So, do you like a trailer hook on a buzzbait?
A lot of times I will, but it depends on the cover I'm fishing. And, you know, I'll let the fish dictate that. If I start missing fish, I'll definitely put a trailer hook on. But, like I say, depending on the cover, like if I'm throwing it in that water willow right there, I may or may not use one because it may get hung to it too much. But if I start missing fish, I'll definitely use one. And right now we're just fun fishing, so
Well, so we got a question. I hate to throw it out because last week we had Dano get all emotional. How did you get into fishing?
I have been fishing my entire life. Actually, my parents used to pick my sister and I up from school on Friday. We would we'd go to the lake. We'd spend the weekend on the lake hunting, not hunting, but fishing and just camping and having a good time. So I've been fishing since I was this big. I've actually got a little story that, and I've got a picture to prove it. When I think I was 7 years old, my family was fishing on a brim bed. I mean, they were catching brim time the cork hit the water. I never caught the first brim, but I got a picture of me holding 3 bass, 3 good-sized bass. So, you know, I kind of joke and say I was apparently destined to do this. So we're gonna swing around here. There's a little ledge right here. The fish might have pulled off since the shad spawn's over and got on this ledge. So we're gonna give this a shot or two.
All right.
Being versatile, gotta be versatile.
So let's, I can't believe I missed. Usually that's some of the first questions. What's the water temperature?
The water temperature is 74.4.
74.4. We got a little cloud cover today. It's a beautiful day, at least the way the weather goes.
And we may or may not catch nothing right here. I mean, spots typically like the water moving. It's moving, but it's moving in the opposite direction because of the wind flow. There's not any current generating yet. So, but we'll see. They gotta eat sometime.
Will there be a CX-19? So they've only got the CX-18, 20, and 21. They are going to bring the 18 down. I am not sure what Camis's plans are on building additional boats, but I think with Mr. Earl Bentz and Adam and the rest of the crew from Camis coming down, they are the people to ask today on where Camis is going and what their plans are. So definitely encourage you to come check that out and talk with them. We had a question about what boat we're in. So we are in a CX-21.
We're in a CX-21, yep.
And let's see, Graph set up. You're running Lowrance's.
I got Lowrance. I got a Lowrance 12 up here and my Mega 16 back there. Got the 250 Pro XS Mercury on here with 8-foot power pole blades.
Right.
It's the perfect setup.
How you liking that V8?
I love it. I love it. It gets the best gas mileage, and it's so dang quiet sometimes I forget it's running.
Jason Hart asks, are there any crappie holding on the bridge pilings?
We actually did catch a crappie here yesterday on a Carolina rig lizard. No, to be.
All right.
Yeah. So if they'll hit a 5-inch lizard or a 6-inch lizard, they sure ought to hit a crappie jig.
If I'm in your way, just tell me.
No, you're good. It's just the wind's playing havoc, making me having to fish backwards. But my husband says I front end him all the time. Situations like this, he really loves it because his end of the boat's in the right direction.
All right, so we had a question about the cloud cover. Should it keep the shad spawn going a little longer?
Well, you know, typically it will just a little bit, but the shad do, for the most part, they do their stuff at night. And we've already had the sun's already peaked out pretty bright a couple times, so I mean, I'm not seeing any of them flicker or anything. So, but if it had stayed cloudy all morning, there would still be some up. Yes, the shadier areas would be best.
Well, are you planning on fishing deep any? I guess.
Yeah,
We're not too shallow right now, right?
No, we're not too shallow right now. I'm sitting in about 16. I'm throwing up on about 5, 6. We'll fish some creek mouths, but for the most part, most of them will be about 5 to 7 feet on top, and we'll be sitting in the river channel. But we're going to do a little bit of all of it. We'll fish a couple of creek mouths, trying to catch fish coming out from spawning, go in some of the creeks, fish around some of the grass, trying to catch some fish, maybe possibly garden fry or some still left from the shad spawn. So we're going to do a little bit of everything.
All right. Just scrolling through some questions. I think I skipped a few. They went a little fast. Ryan, heard the new boat isn't stocked. What's the new boat she's in? So like I said, she's in the CX21. We've got 2. Actually, I think we're down to 1. One sold yesterday. And then we've got 2 CX20s. And we have not stocked the CX18s yet. We've got 1 sitting in the showroom today that they brought down, and then they'll have 1 on the water.
With this wind blowing, we may go to swimming a jig a little bit too in some of this grass. Caught an awful lot of fish swimming a jig. I'm typically a shallow water fisherman. We live on Lake Seminole. The average depth is 8 feet, so for me my typical setup, there goes a big old shad right there, would be 65-pound braid and a broomstick, but got to be versatile. So I got some stuff with 10-pound test line, some with 12. I still got some 65-pound braid. So
we got one comment of I've caught some good ones sitting right there.
Oh, I know what lives here.
DD22 Gray Ghost.
I know what lives here. So like I said, we have absolutely no current, and the wind's trying to push me upriver, so just making things a little difficult. But I also don't sit in one place long, so if they don't bite quick, I'll be gone.
I think you're getting a phone call.
Am I? Uh-oh. They'll call back. They'll leave a message.
All right.
It's probably somebody trying to... I get that about my car warranty and forgiving my student loan, which I'm like, really?
Well, those are important things.
They are when you're 20, but...
All right. So you talk about fishing fast. Is that kind of the way? I mean, when you're out trying to find them?
Typically, yes. I'm so trained in a tournament mindset where you go to a lake and you only have 2 days or 3 days to find fish. So you really don't have time to sit somewhere and try to make them bite. I understand that, sometimes that's what it takes, but I'll fish through a lot of times fast with reaction baits, and if I get a fish to react, then you can have the opportunity to slow down. But you can kill a whole day in 2 or 3, 4 places and not catch a fish, and then you wasted the whole day. So just with the tournament mindset, yes, I tend to fish fast. But that's where doing as much homework at home, on the computer, map study, looking at your Lowrance, that kind of thing, to try to narrow stuff down a little bit more so you use your time more efficiently.
Well, have you got some tips on if you are going to a new body of water and trying to figure some stuff out?
Yeah, like I said, as much research as you can through magazine articles, the internet, whatever, map study. The mapping on these Lowrances are excellent, but I also still rely on a paper map also. You know, I had a folder I was going to bring to show, and I forgot. But anyway, I've got folders just about on every lake I've been to, and the one on this body of water is about that thick. You know, gathering all the information, keeping everything. When I went to Mitchell, you know, with and Randall Carter helped me up there. I had a notebook. Stevens exaggerates and says it was that thick, but you know, basically it was. I had notes for if this weather situation happened, if that weather situation happened. You know, trying to cover everything. Because like I said, when you get on the water, you know, during a tournament situation, our time is limited. So, you know, we've got to use what time we've got efficiently, and that's the best way to do it. Then you can eliminate 90% of the water, typically that way, and spend more time fishing rather than running. And that may be our last cast before we move on.
All right.
Y'all,
well, I'll squeeze this in, and I saw Nano just posted in there, guys. Don't forget, comment some questions. That is how you get entered in. Like and share, and then we'll go back in sometime either later today or tomorrow and pick a couple winners for a couple prize packs of some free tackle. Everybody likes free stuff, right?
That's right. So y'all stay with us. We're going to make about a 2 or 3 minute run. See how the Camus runs, and then we'll get back to some fishing.
Well, real quick before you set that down, what are you fishing? What's that setup you're throwing right now?
This is just a shaky head rig with. This is an old V&M bait that our friend Gary Howington gave us. It's an ugly looking creature, but these spots seem to like it. I think they kill it just to get it out of the gene pool.
Kill it just to get it out of the gene pool. That's a good one.
They scared.
Have you ever fished on Wadowee?
I have not. I have not. But I do love the Coosa River chain. I've won on this one. I've won on Lay Lake. I've won on Mitchell. Is Logan Martin on the Coosa River chain? Is that it is? Let's go try some more grass.
All right.
I'll throw a ribbit some and the buzzbait some more. It's nice to catch them on the bottom, but it sure is fun to catch them on top water.
Well, while we're adjusting here, I'm gonna take care of a little business. I got the shop asking about paddles for a kayak that the guy's picking up. Dano, if you wouldn't mind calling Justin and telling him they're back in the back of parts. Apologize for the brief interruption, but that's life around here this time of year. We do what we gotta do. That's a big old deck.
Yeah, it is.
Getting a little virtual Camus demo here.
freeze by? Y'all mind if I go in? Thanks. Pardon me? I am. We trying to find a fish. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Well, all right, guys. We had a comment of looks like a nice ride, especially on this 21.
Yeah, it's really a smooth ride. We're going in a little, as you can tell, a little backwater area. Caught a lot of largemouth in here spawning. I don't know that they're still spawning, but did get a few bites in here the other day, yesterday. So, you know, whether they're, sorry.
I'm good.
I'm tearing down the cameras.
We'll do the best we can.
Look at there. That's
all
good
right.
driving. I missed all of them.
Bet you can't do that twice.
Went through all them limbs and didn't even hit the camera. But there could be some fish in here, you know, garden fry or whatever, the shad spawn. We had a couple blow up on a ribbit yesterday, so we're gonna give it a try. I'll fish it through here pretty fast.
All right.
Change the scenery anyway.
Matthew Blake says, now that looks like my kind of water. Got
Yep.
a lot of shallow water fans around this area.
Yeah, well, coming from Lake Seminole, I mean, like I said, our average depth is 8 feet, so it's mine too. Biggest danger here is you got to watch out for golf balls.
Well,
I have had them hit close to the boat before. So they obviously play golf like I do.
Scott Canterbury hit me with a fish when we were doing the live with him, so let's hope I don't get hit by a golf ball.
I'll try not to hit you with a fish, I promise.
I think the iPhone's waterproof, so guys, if I dive over, don't leave. I'll get back in the boat.
Hey, good underwater shot. Hey, that may work. Let's give it a try. Like I say, I'm not sure what this is called. I've always called it the golf course hole because of the golf course. I think it's ash something. Ash removal something.
I'll give you guys an idea. If you're not from the area, if you're from this area, I'm sure you are probably familiar with this. Tucked up in here, one of the local golf courses. Eddie Brewer said, I think they bet who can get the closest. The golfers. That may be. Mr. Andy Anderson said, looking forward to Pam being our coach at Emmanuel College.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. It's a new program. They just started it this past semester, or this past year. Unfortunately, our season got cut short because of COVID-19. Our kids got to fish one tournament before they got canceled, so they were pretty disappointed, but we've got a good group of young anglers coming up. I'm looking forward to working with them, sharing my passion of fishing, and watching them expand their knowledge and get to enjoy things. You know, there's something wrong with the fact that, you know, hey, I'm not encouraging this, but we had to skip school to fish. Now they get excused to go fishing. But no,
some scholarships to go fishing.
Oh yeah, we've given some scholarships. Like I say, we're looking forward to it. We're at Emmanuel College there in Franklin Springs, Georgia. It's a small private institution, but it's a great place. You know, I tell people, I don't know how God intended for me to be there. This is the kind of place, because I wasn't looking for a coaching job. This kind of fell into my lap. And 2 weeks after I accepted the position, my mother passed away. And I'd only met like 5 people at this college. But my phone blew up with text, emails and stuff from staff, faculty, students, you know, and I mean, that was people that didn't even know me. So that really made an impression on me that was where I was, you know, was meant to be. So
that is awesome. Well, guys, so if you haven't been with us for a little bit, so if you are a parent and you got kids, or you are a kid yourself thinking about the whole college fishing scene, here's a great time to pick somebody's brain. So ask us some questions. If not, I'm probably going to do that eventually. But we got one comment. I think a fluke would work really well in that water.
Done really well in here on a fluke. Sure have.
And what's your favorite lure to fish? What's kind of your go-to? I know you're talking about versatility, but
yeah, you know, that's the thing. But if I could create the perfect situation and do one thing all year long, it would have to be a frog of some sort. You know, either a spro frog or a ribbit. There's nothing, you know, being on Seminole with all that grass, there's nothing no more exciting, no more explosive than watching a fish come up and eat a frog. So, but other than that, you know, I mean, my favorite bait's the one that's catching fish.
That is a good answer.
That's why I have 15 rods on the boat.
All right, Sam Foster asked, what's the biggest spotted bass you've caught, and what bait was it caught on?
The biggest spotted bass I caught was on this lake, and it was actually on a jig, upriver, and it was about 5.5 pounds. I actually won that tournament, so yeah, it was. But spots, they can be 5 pounds or a pound, and them jokers fight. So, you know, they're fun no matter what size they are. Matter of preference or just me, we got on the calm side of this pocket. To me, I don't know about the fish, but to me the buzzbait made a little bit too much noise, so I went with a little more subtle presentation. This ribbit, you know, is a little bit quieter in this calmer water. Now if one will just eat it.
You're throwing it back in the grass, right?
Yes, I'm throwing it back in the grass, especially now that the sun's come up. You see some of those little mats. The fish could be under that stuff hiding. waiting to ambush some prey coming by, guarding their fry, whatever the case may be. I'll pitch a tube around a little bit in here.
All right, Austin Matthews said, I've heard some colleges and high schools are introducing students to kayak fishing. What are your thoughts on the kayak world?
You know, that's really coming on strong, and I think it's a good deal. You know, it gives people a whole nother outlet to be able to get out in the outdoors and enjoy everything. You know, if you can't necessarily afford a big bass boat like this, but you still want to compete, you know, that's a whole nother option. So I think it's a really great avenue to get more people out in the outdoors. And that ultimately that's what we want to do, is get more people in the outdoors. You know, and that's part of the deal with the college thing, is trying to introduce more and more kids. You know, I do a deal with the city of Bainbridge every year. They do a kids summer camp, and at each one of them we have what's called fishing day, and I go up and we talk to them, and I'm talking from I think 7 up, and we teach them how to tie knots, show the different baits. We'll put the boat in and we'll take them for rides, and there's a lot of kids never been in a boat, and they've actually got a pond there on site, and we fish. And you know, to see a kid catch a fish that's never caught a fish, it doesn't matter if it's that big, but the grin on their face is priceless. So, you know, I've been fortunate. The good Lord's blessed me with my career, and now at this stage in my career, if I can give back just a portion of what I've been fortunate enough to have, you know, that makes it all worthwhile.
We got a question of why fishing upriver instead of downriver. What factors into that decision?
You know, I'm more familiar upriver, but several of the tournaments I've won downriver. It's just, I grew up on a river, so I guess in some ways I'm more comfortable in the river. Lake Seminole, of course, is my home lake, but we've got the Flint River and the Chattahoochee River there. So it's just a more comfortable place, and it doesn't hurt that I got a really good friend that knows this portion of the lake really, really well. Gary Howington, and he's been very helpful, you know, throughout the times that we've come up here. He's a very knowledgeable man, great fisherman, you know, and but I do love to catch big old spots, and I have caught some big old spots up here.
All right, Jamie Collette said, where are you from?
I'm from Bainbridge, Georgia, Lake Seminole.
And he threw out a go dogs.
There you go. I can go dogs, but since I'm with Emmanuel, I got to go Lions too. So.
Well, I don't know that those two will ever meet on the field. So.
No. No, our average enrollment's right around 950. So. No, I don't think we will. But we've got like 26 different athletic teams at our school. So, you know, like I say, it's a really great place. All the people there are extremely nice. The campus is beautiful. What more could you ask for? Except for a fish to bite.
So we got a question on would you consider a swim jig in here?
I would like for a little bit more wind to be blowing in here for the swim jig. Threw one yesterday a little bit. But today, today's totally different from yesterday. Yesterday it was very cool. I mean, we actually had to borrow clothes. When we left home, it was 90 degrees. We packed shorts, and this is the only long sleeve shirt. And we got out here yesterday morning, and it was in the low 50s. So, we had to borrow clothes. But today it's hot, it's muggy, pressure's changing. They ought to be biting. That's why we're jumping around trying different things. But yeah, I love a swim jig. I'd rather they, like I say, be a little bit more chop on the water.
Well, a good follow-up to that is, do you ever swim a worm through the grass?
Yes, sir. Well, I guess I don't have it out. I got a 10-inch worm that I love to swim through the grass.
Pete Morris made a comment that I can't, it's a dirty word, as an Auburn grad I can't say, so
must have been Roll Tide.
might have been. Well, Dalton, thanks for coming back, asking if we caught any. We haven't found any more yet, but we're having fun, trying to cover some water.
We're working on it. And too, a lot of times, or for the most part, these spots are very current oriented, and they like the current. And right now we have really none moving. So we're kind of just being versatile, moving around, trying to find a few fish until the water starts moving, and then we'll try some other stuff in the river. Come on, fish.
What's your favorite hook for your frog you're throwing?
I've got a, it's actually a hook made by Ribbit, by Stanley, for the Ribbit. I use a 5/0, which is kind of big, but on Seminole, especially when you're using 65-pound braid, I want a hook with a lot of backbone. I've used some hooks that had too much spring in them. When you caught a fish, they would spring, and I've lost the fish. So this Ribbit hook's really, really stout, and so that's the one I use. And it's actually called a double take hook. So it's got, instead of a single hook, it's two. Like I say, it's a little big for this, so you kind of have to stretch him. But that's it. It's got the screw lock and two hooks, and it's a really stout hook, so you can't really bend it out. So that's the one I use normally.
What's your go-to knot on a setup like that?
Well, now this, I just use a Palomar knot in my braid. But then after I tie the Palomar knot, just to keep the tag end from slipping, which it will on occasion, I'll tie an overhand knot on top of it. Just an added extra.
So follow-up question to the swimming a worm. When would you swim a worm over a swim jig?
In a little bit calmer water like that, for me, something that's a little bit more subtle. The swimming jig, he's coming through. It's a reaction bite, which so is a swimming worm, but it's a little bit more subtle action. And if I get it to a hole, I can just drop it in a hole. I guess maybe if I had to pick one particular time, if they were more in the bedding mode where they actually were in one spot, I might, do that so I could drop it in the holes and leave it a little longer. Ooh, there's a
Tammy.
snake.
What?
Look at him following
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Look at him. You want it? If I catch him, who's gonna take him off? Not me.
I'm busy. I'm good.
You're busy. Now at home we catch little alligators all the time. I'll take a little alligator off, but I'm not taking a snake off. He can have my bait. All right.
Tammy Howington Craft says, "Hey Pam,
Hey,
where is Coosa?"
Aunt Linda has Coosa, which is a good thing. She would be driving us crazy, but y'all got to come see us. You and Brandon, come see us. We'll be at the house tonight. Well, I don't know. Are we still social distancing? That's Gary Howington's daughter, Tammy.
Okay.
All of the Howingtons have been very good friends and very good to us along the way. You know, we always stay at Gary and Linda's house, and Linda does babysit my dog Coosa when we're here, so we don't have to bring her out in the boat, which Aunt Linda spoils her, so she'd rather be at the house with Aunt Linda than she had in the boat. She gets lots of treats and her own chair, her own special chair. Pam don't have a recliner at the Howingtons. Coosa has a recliner at the Howingtons.
All right, so Dalton, I'll get this out there. Dalton, we fished with Dano last week out here, and we were kind of taking requests on baits, suggestions, and so Dalton said, I'm gonna give you a one-time tip. It's a one-time deal here. Tried to get Dano on it, but he was too busy telling stories last week. Wacky rig.
I totally agree. That is an awesome bait. Catches fish. Like I said, I'm a fast person. I want to try to get a big one to come up and eat this frog. If we have to. Hey, I got a rod box full of rods down there. Trust me. Remember, I said versatility. I got it.
So how do you prefer to throw your wacky rig? That seems to be a common question. Are you a bait caster or spinning a rod?
Both. Depends on the situation. If it's really, really tough, and you know, I'll throw it on the spinning reel so I can use a smaller line. Stephen and I fished an ABT on Lay Lake last year, and I was fishing it on a bait caster on 16-pound test line, and, you know, caught a couple of 6-pounders. So, you know, it just depends. There again, I grew up on Lake Seminole, which is a swamp. I'm not the most comfortable with a spinning reel, I'll admit. I'm saying you got to be versatile, but I'm admitting I'm not the most comfortable. Had a good friend of mine, Basil Bacon, tell me one time he called it a fairy wand with angel hair, and that's about, you know, I get scared when I got to throw 6 and 8 pound test line, like on a drop shot or whatever. So, you know, but I'm being honest. But I've got one, and I will throw it. I'm just more comfortable with a frog and 65-pound brain.
All right, what is your setup when you're fishing a frog?
Well, right now I've got this on a Castaway heavy action 7.6. And there again, different times I've got one in there that's got a much lighter tip that I'll throw in a lot more open water. I could actually be throwing it in this kind of stuff on it, but when I'm fishing the matted hydrilla on Gunnersville or whatever, Seminole, I want something that's got a lot of backbone, because when those fish hit, I mean, you've got to get them out. And if it's got too much flex in it, you know, you're not going to be able to horse those fish out.
So what kind of gear ratio are you running on the on the frog?
This is a 7.5 to 1. Like I said, I am a fast fisherman, so they really ought to be biting. I know, they're still social distancing.
That's probably.
That's what it is. Oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
Now that joker flew right into my line. Would you let it go? Thank you. Oh, crap. Well, I bet this is going to be a first on Facebook Live. I'm fixing to get pecked to death by a herring.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, buddy. Huh?
Did he bite it?
No, he flew into it.
All right.
I don't want to hurt him. I don't even know where the frog is at. Come here, buddy.
It had to have gotten wrapped around or something.
There comes his friend. No, I'll get it. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. It did, it wrapped all around your wing. I don't know how it did that. Would you mind handing me them cutters right there?
Here's.
Yeah, those right there.
There we go.
Come on, buddy, I don't want to hurt you. Come on. His wife or husband over there is having fits. Did it come loose? Wait, now. Well, by George.
Well, that's a new one.
I might not catch no fish for the rest of the day, but ain't none of the rest of them caught a bird.
That is the absolute truth.
Look, I cast. I don't know if y'all could tell, but I made a cast, and he flew out of the stuff and flew into my line.
Again, I bet you couldn't do that if you tried.
That was not intentional, folks, I promise.
Wow.
And he didn't even bite me. Maybe I can be the bird whisperer.
And guys, just so you know, her husband's back there being a huge help, so.
He did offer to get it, but hey, I just said I catch alligators. I'd have been a wimp if I hadn't caught a bird, right?
Oh, man. Guys, we can't make this stuff up. Isn't that what fishing's all about?
Only me. Only me. Hey, I said if we couldn't catch no fish, I was going to make it interesting. Well, there you go. Give them something to laugh about anyway.
Well, Robert Morris said, have you ever caught a bird fishing? I caught one yesterday for the first time in my life. Had to grab the crow and cut my line and free it. Well, there you go, Robert. Yes.
Yeah, a big blue heron. Or gray heron, whichever one they are, I don't know. There's one of them. All I know is he had a big beak, but thank God he didn't bite me. And you see I'm putting this in the live well, or the ice chest, not the live well. Please don't throw your line in the water. It not only affects the fish, turtles, birds. Whew. Okay, I've had my excitement for the day. That'll get your heart pumping.
No kidding.
He had a really mean looking face.
Robert Morris said, sorry for jinxing you. He actually asked that question before you caught the bird.
Are you serious? No more questions, Robert. Don't ask me if I've ever fallen in. Come on, fish.
All right, question with the fish being eaten all night. They should be full. Would a slow move?
Gosh, dog it!
Oh, I had you distracted.
Oh man, I hate it when that happens, and then I can't find what I'm after. Look at the shad jumping. Dadgum your hide.
Well, anyways, it was a question about using a slow-moving bait with the shad spawn and stuff, but we got a good bite.
Yeah, and there again, I mean, if I was fishing a tournament situation, I would probably slow down a little bit and flip around a little bit, but you know, we're out here having fun, and it's fun to have them blow up like that, so, you know, I'm trying to see if I can get one to eat it.
Well, I guess we're going to have you come over for a live duck hunting session or something.
Can I use my rivets?
Oh, now all the duck hunters are going to flock to the loft and buy up all the rivets. So.
There you go.
Talk about versatility.
I mean, seriously, only me. I fished for 27 years and I've never caught a bird, and I catch one on Facebook Live.
All right, guys, comment those questions. Again, we're doing a couple of tackle pack giveaways. We'll be picking winners out of the comments, and we'd love for you to like and share. Maybe don't share to PETA, just in case.
No animals were harmed in the filming of this video.
That bird got up and got away, so.
I couldn't do that if I tried.
Got a comment, that was awesome.
I bet he weighed a lot.
What pound test would you suggest for ducks?
I'd probably go with 50, 65 pound braid for herons anyway. Hey, and you know, this Camus has got a big live well, but I don't think that dude would have fit. Come on.
Got a comment here. Me and my partner beat the grass to death on Tuesday with a frog. Didn't get a single blow up. Caught a few on drop shots on a watermelon red flake yum dinger.
There you go. Hey, I got a drop shot tied on right there. Don't have the yum dinger on it though. Well, I did have one blow up on it, but I stupided him away, I guess.
Alright, I'm trying to catch up here, guys. Sorry, I think I'm falling a little behind. What do you usually throw back in there when you miss on the frog? So when we had that bite, what did you shift to?
Well, right then I threw a tube in there because that's what I have tied on. But typically I would have thrown a Senko type bait, probably weightless, in there if the cover wasn't too thick. If it was in the thick stuff, I would have to throw something with a weight. But normally I would have thrown like a Senko type bait back in there. That way it kind of, you know, it in my opinion, is a slow, subtle fall. Looks like something injured, you know. Trying to say, well, I hit that thing, I missed him, but I injured him, you know. Bass are opportunistic feeders, so. Hey, that's a big word for South Georgia redneck.
Well, you are working at a college now, so.
That is true.
Can you catch a bass on deep diving crankbait in shallow water?
If you can keep it from getting hung, you can, I guess. I actually do remember one time on Lake Tenkiller. The lady that won that tournament was actually throwing a DD22 in 3 feet of water, and she swore it was, but it was a mud flat. There was nothing on it to get hung on, and she swore it was because the bill was stirring up the mud, the dirt. I don't know.
It worked for her that day, huh?
It worked that day. I've never done it, and it's not the typical way to do it, but hey, you know, sometimes something different just works.
Alan said, is the loft open? I need to get me some more 4.5 pocket rockets. Yes, sir. We are open all day today till, actually we'll be open till 6 with the Camas Demo Day, and you can come say hey to Earl Bentz this afternoon. And then we've got, we'll be open all day tomorrow. But we are actually closed on Memorial Day while we're talking about our hours.
I hope that's a test.
I hope so too. Doesn't look like we got weather conditions. Hopefully Dano can check and make sure we're good with any weather coming in. Sorry guys, we got a little siren going off in the background.
Well, I've got
It's not going anymore, so I'm thinking they're just testing it.
This is totally not fishing related, but it is a funny story, and it's a funny story on myself. South Georgia, we don't have the warning sirens, okay? I've been in Alabama enough that I know what they are. We were at Gary and Linda's house one evening, and they live in the woods. So I mean, I'm used to hearing them in the city limits and stuff like that. I wasn't necessarily used to hearing them out in the country. But the sirens went off, and they said we got to go get in the storm shelter. Where Stephen and I went outside and were waiting on Gary and Linda to come out. And they got a little mountain behind their house, and up on top of the mountain's where this siren is. Well, I didn't know that. But we're standing out there, wind, whatever, and all of a sudden the siren quits, and this deep voice goes, "This is a warning. Seek shelter immediately." I looked at Steve and I said, "Is God talking to us or what?" I didn't know what was going on. So it's a big standing joke with Gary and Linda. They asked me if I've heard voices from the sky anymore.
Nice.
That was kind of weird now. Because I have heard sirens, but I've never heard somebody talk. Come on, fish. I ain't gonna play with you much longer now. It is getting dark back that way.
Yeah.
I don't know which way that's coming or going. There's some shad popping in here. We might be fixing to get bit. This wind's got them blown back in here.
You ever fish a chatterbait?
I do fish a chatterbait a lot. I'll fish it more in the spring and the fall, but it probably wouldn't be a bad choice with these shad. Chatterbait's one of those baits that is very versatile.
Have you ever caught a 10-pounder out of there? I'm assuming he means here. Robert, is that right?
Not out of here.
Not
No.
out of here. John Skipper said, what are your thoughts on a swim jig?
But like I say, I love to throw a swim jig. I couldn't get bit on it yesterday. We did get a couple strikes on the ribbit, so that's why. But now with the wind blowing, it might not be a bad choice. Before we get out of here, I may throw it just a little bit, but we won't stay in here much longer either.
All right. Matthew Blake asks, does the Coosa fishing seem to be slower this year, or is it just me?
No, sir. It's slower all the way around. Everybody, you know, I know up here, it's been tough. Gary actually said there was a tournament this weekend that it only took 14 pounds to win, and that's unusual for this body of water. So, but you know, this has been, I mean, hey, you know, we've had this COVID-19 crap going on, and by no means am I associating that with what's going on here, but other than the signs of the times, fishing and everything has been strange this year. I mean, there on Lake Seminole, we just had a huge wave of fish come up and spawn in the middle of May. That is very unusual, as warm as it's been. When we have cold winters and cold springs, yeah, no, but there's just been, the animals have been confused, the turkeys were confused. I mean, it's just been a very weird year all the way around for fishing and everything. So, but yes, to answer your question, it's tough. If it's just you, it's just me, so we're in the same boat.
What's your favorite color crankbait in clear water situation?
I like to stick with the shad patterns in the clear water. Sometimes I'll even go with something that's a more translucent, just so they can't see it quite as well. You know, at home on Lake Seminole in Spring Creek, the water's really clear. A lot of times you can see a crankbait 25 feet deep, and you'll see them follow it. You can change to something a little more translucent so they can't really, they see it but they don't really see it, if that makes any sense, and they'll go ahead and commit to it. So that's, you know, I try to stick to the more natural colors, the shad patterns and that such.
Tammy Kraft said Pam will be at Bucks today around 1 for a meet and greet. She's an amazing woman who loves to fish, loves her family, and is one of the hardest working women I know.
Thank you, Tammy. Love you. Hope to see you.
I appreciate you reminding everybody to come to Bucks and say hey to all of us.
Yep, we will be there.
I think the weather's going to hold out pretty good for a little demo day today. We're going to do our best.
All right, fish, dadgum you.
Braden says it's pouring in Boaz on the mountain.
Uh-oh. I hope it's going the other way.
It should be going away if it's in Boaz. But I did not look at the radar today.
Most of it was northwest of us here. Huntsville was about to get hammered. And we were thinking about trying to go to Pickwick tomorrow, so I don't know if we'll get to go or not.
Lucas Bradley asks, how do you break down a lake that you don't know?
Typically what I'll do is I'll look at what should be the seasonal pattern, whether it's, you know, winter, spring, summer, or fall. Then break that down a little bit further, pre or post spawn. And once you do that, then you can go through and look at a map, either a paper map or your Lowrance, and you can eliminate a lot of water that way by choosing seasonal patterns. And then what I'll do is if I go in, say spring, and I start in the back of this creek and I'm not getting bit, then I'll work my way out until I find the fish, because they'll be somewhere, you know. And that's the best way to do it. It saves you time. There again, a lot of work, a lot of homework at home saves you time on the water. And it's easier to make adjustments that way rather than just going out off the fly and trying to figure it out. Oh, doggone it. He just looked at it. Dang. You aggravating fish. Just when I was fixing to cut over to the other side.
Well, to the question about the fish biting, the weird year we're having, he said that makes me feel better about myself. Thought I forgot how to catch them.
No, trust me. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. Like I said, Gary Howington's one of the best up here, and he said it's got him baffled, so,
all right.
You know, who knows? I guess this one of the situations, only the good Lord knows what's going on, because I sure don't. I can't figure it out.
When pitching, how do you decide to use a jig or a pegged Texas rig?
You know, sometimes that's one of those things you just kind of got to let the fish tell you. You know, you really can't beat a jig, but I will pitch a stick worm a lot of times, and I keep referring to the grass, but like the thicker grass and that kind of stuff, the stick worm will go through a lot easier with a lot smaller weight. I mean, I know you can get a bigger jig and go through. There again, a lot of times the bigger fish are going to hit the jig. So, you know, it's kind of whether or not you're looking for quantity or quality. That's just a little old wake bait. I've caught a lot of fish on this bait in really shallow water. I just did it real fast coming across that flat. to get over to the other side. Why did the chicken cross the road? We'll fish pretty fast right around to here. Then we'll get out on the river, hit a creek mouth. Maybe the water's, I know they turn the water on, but they say it takes an hour and a half to 2 hours for it to get down here. So maybe by then the water will be moving in that area and we can catch a few. I really thought with the conditions we'd catch a few in here. I had two blow-ups and a bird. It's not too bad. Too bad.
Not bad at all. Dalton said, go to Wadawi, Pam, it's challenging.
I cross it every time we come up here, but just never fished it.
We got about 30 more minutes or so.
Oh yeah? Oh, okay. My, how time flies. That's what happens in a tournament situation. If you're not catching nothing, the day just flies by.
Well, guys, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us. How many of y'all are at work? It's always kind of fun to see what everybody's doing while they're out here, while we're out here watching. Hope everybody's got big plans for Memorial Day weekend. See how crazy the lakes get.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not really sure what's going to be different than what's happened with the COVID conditions. I don't know, in your area, did everybody flock to the water like they did around here?
Oh yeah. Yep. It was actually, I mean, we got a sandbar up on the river that everybody gathers on, and it was like the social distancing didn't exist on that sandbar.
Yeah. Jamie Collette said he's working. Shay's baling hay. Can you watch a Facebook Live and bale hay at the same time, I guess?
Sure you can. There's times when I'm fishing, I watch fishing live. I put my phone right there. You can't catch them, you might as well watch somebody else catch them. Oh wait, y'all are watching and I'm not catching. Day's not over yet.
Well, I will say we've had quite a bit more action than we did last week. So.
Well, I'm gonna make a few more casts right here and let's move on before we run out of time and see if we can catch a spot. We got the idle out of here anyway, so I'm just gonna kick the trolling motor on high and cast as I'm going.
The delay in Facebook just got to Dano as he's monitoring from the boat. He just gave me a thanks. He was on the live last week, so. Well, you didn't catch a bird, Dano.
That's right.
That is a first for Bucks Island Live.
That's a first for Pam too.
Thomas Farmer working at the fire station. Well, we appreciate all that you do, Thomas. Hopefully you have an uneventful day.
That's right. That's right.
Working here in South Carolina, watching some fishing. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Jimmy Perry said, Neely Henry has me baffled also, but went to Logan Martin about 2 weeks ago and got on a stretch of water about 100 yards long and caught 16 fish just going back and forth on that stretch.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of times this time of year, and you know, post-spawn, early summer pattern, you can, you know, sometimes when you locate them like that, they'll be bunched up.
Matthew Blake's working, but on lunch right now. Speaking of lunch, we are going to have some hot dogs. I like that segue. We're going to have some hot dogs today at the meet and greet at Bucks Island. So, love to have everybody come down. We'll have the camises in the water.
Yeah, come down, say hello, take a look at the new camises. Go up in the loft and buy you a boatload of tackle. Stop by and say hello. Gosh, dog it. About tired of that happening now. I hate it when it happens. I guess he just had the legs. He didn't have it all. You almost got it.
We did have a Chris said that this area gets beat to death.
Yeah, I know, and it's a community hole, but like I say, I was, you know, with the cloud cover, the wind blowing, it'd be fun to catch a few on top. It is a community hole, and it does get a lot of pressure, but it also has some good fish in it, so somebody's got to catch them. Might as well be me.
Dalton said he missed the comment on Wadawi. What do you think? If you're referring to has she fished Wadawi, the answer was no. Logan Smith said he had 13 on Weiss Monday around lunch to 2:30. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. That's a lake I've only been on once. Also,
we were going to do Weiss a few weeks ago. Tracy Robinson, one of our local hammers, part of our pro staff, but the weather was not good.
they're not taking it. That's when I need to have a buzz bait with a trailer hook, I guess. He just had the legs.
What brand reels do you use?
These are Lew's. Smooth little reels. like I say, we're fixing to move, but to keep from being boring just idling, I put the trolling motor on high, and we'll try to fish our way out of here a little ways. Who knows, I may get lucky. I'm sure you could probably slow down and pitch a worm around in here and probably catch a few, especially the way they've been acting. They're just not super aggressive. Now that spot this morning was super aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Seven minutes.
7 minutes till what?
Till we're done. 7 minutes.
7?
Are we just going to 10:30 or are we going to 11?
I thought we were going to 11.
Did you say 7 minutes left? 27.
I was fixing to say.
We're just stealing time away from you.
Hey, I need all the time I can get. All right.
Sorry, we had a little confusion with the judges there, guys. we got time back on the clock.
All right, we'll idle out of here. We're being rushed. Let's go give it a shot.
All right.
Y'all hang with us. We're gonna make a short little move.
Get the old life jacket on.
Yep.
Oh man, that V8 sounds so good every time it cranks.
It does. Friend of mine, when he got his, he said he just wanted to sit there in the lake and crank it up and turn it off and crank it up and turn it off.
So what size graph is that?
That's a 16.
16.
Yeah. I used to complain. Now, some of you younger viewers don't understand this, but getting older, it was harder to see some of those smaller ones. I got one I can see whether I'm running 70 or 2. And when Steven gets bored, he can watch football.
I will walk back there and drop that GoPro down. Sorry guys, hang with us. Try not to make the viewers at home motion sick.
You don't trust me not to miss those limbs again, do you?
Well, we missed them coming in. Wrapped up a bird. I'm thinking we're starting to run out of.
Or you think my good luck's running out, or whatever. Man, 2 hours flies by fast.
It sure does. Here's this. See, to the viewers at home, it looks like a 10-inch graph because it's so big. That thing's huge.
It's nice though. I mean, you can split those screens. You can do a 4-way split and still, I mean, still see everything. So.
Alright guys, I think we're going to make a quick little run here. Doing a little Camus demo.
There you go. All right, let's see if we can catch a spot.
All right. So what are you picking up?
This is a shaky head with the little, I'm not sure what that thing's called.
All right.
Oh no, not in the tree. I think that boat's fixing to want to come in here. What did you do?
Rides like buttery smooth. Yep, this Camus. That's 21 especially.
Yeah, it's nice.
What kind of speeds have y'all been getting out of this thing?
We've got right at 70.
Right at 70.
And trust me,
But
my husband's got his compartment full, so it's full of tackle.
you don't have to work real hard at it at that speed driving this boat.
No, not at all. Still no motor moving. That's the hardest thing about fishing this body of water in a tournament situation is, you know, you try to plan your day based on water movement, and you know, you call and get the generation schedule, and it doesn't always hold true. I've run all the way upriver expecting, you know, things before and get up there, and it'd just be dead calm and have to turn around and come all the way back down lake. So, you know, that's one of the challenges to fish here. But man, when you hit it right, I have caught some mega spots up here. But also, if it's a 2-day tournament and I do good upriver today, I'm gonna go downriver tomorrow, because for me, I've not been able to do it consistently. I think the last tournament I won here might have been one of the women's Bassmaster tournaments. I did really well downriver the first morning. I was leading her in second, and the next morning I didn't go downriver. I turned and run all the way upriver. And one of my friends that was fishing in the same creek that I was fishing downriver, I asked her how it went, and she said she had one bite. So I was like, yeah, I'm glad now I chose to go the opposite direction, even though my husband thought I was crazy after I was leading her in second and then gonna abandon that whole deal. But I don't know, sometimes you just gotta go with your gut, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is dead calm.
Yeah, there's not even, I mean, there's no wind.
Yeah, today's one of those days I probably should have gone down lake.
Well, we still had some fun being out here.
Yeah, we had fun. It's always fun when you can go fishing, right?
Absolutely.
Because that is why they call it fishing and not catching.
Just thinking the same thing.
It doesn't always work like we think it should, no doubt.
Well, guys, we're gonna hang out here for about another 20 minutes or so. So would love some more questions.
And thank y'all for tuning in.
And keeping those comments coming. That's how we pick the winners for some of the tackle, a couple tackle packs we're going to give away today from the loft. Which, and as many times as I have said it on the internet and posted on the internet, we're still getting questions. Is it open? Yep, we are full open. Certainly for boat sales, the preference is trying to schedule an appointment, because right now, honestly, we are so busy. It is tough to get to everybody, and we are doing the absolute best we can. But the loft is open. You can come on in and shop tackle 8 to 5 today and tomorrow. One of our great customers, Sergeant Tim Hurd, is watching from Weiss on a pop-up storm, so I guess they're getting some weather over there. Here's a Camus question for you. What drew you to the Camus?
You know, honestly, I've known Earl Bentz for quite some time. I know the quality of boats he builds, so I knew this was going to be a really good boat, and you know, wanted to give it a shot. Like I say, Earl builds a great boat, and I knew it would be good, and we were in the market for a new one, so what better one to get?
Well, so what did you come out of? What was your last boat that you had?
When I was in, I got to back up and tell this whole story, okay? I was actually in a Legend. I was sponsored by Legend, the Legend boats in Texas. for several years. But then my husband, Stephen, had cancer, and we had to go through surgery and chemo and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, in 26 years, I had never missed a tournament. But due to that and actually the uncertainty of knowing what our future was, we had sold the Legend, which as we did every year. But instead of, I don't know how to make this sound, but not knowing what the future held, instead of investing that much in another boat, we went with a G3, which was a great boat. I mean, it was very versatile. We loved the boat.
That was a 19-footer, right?
Yes, and it served its purpose, you know. And then once things got settled down and you know, the future seemed a little brighter. And with me fishing tournaments, Stephen really wanted me in a bigger boat. Like I say, nothing against the G3, but some of the lakes we go to, Toledo Bend and stuff like that, can get really rough, and he really wanted me to get in a bigger boat. So that's when we started looking at the different boats, and it happened to be about the time that Earl came out with the Camus. So that's the route we took, and that's how it all came about.
Well, we absolutely love us some G3s at Bucks Island.
Yeah.
So we sell the snot out of them, and
like I say, and we loved ours, you know, and I never had a minute's trouble, you know, with none of the lakes. But my husband, being the protector, he just wanted me to, in his words, be a little more safe, with a little more. Sorry, I forgot to silence my phone.
no worries.
At least you get to hear my really cool ringtone. I feel rain. Not raindrops, but everything's changing. Things are changing.
Rolling in. We'll see if it blows through.
There's one. Look at them schooling up there. I got a fish on and they're schooling up there. Dadgummit. I guess I shouldn't complain, but still. He ain't a giant, but it's a fish. It's not a bird. He's pretty. Wait, Roland Martin. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
What'd you catch that one on?
Caught it on a drop shot with I guess it's a baby skinny dipper, tiny skinny dipper, I don't know, a skinny dipper, a little one.
All right. What size weight have you got tied on there?
It's that's a 1/4 ounce. It's really a little heavy for this calm conditions. I expected the water to be running, but it's all right. It worked out. Little dipper. That's right. It's a little dipper. Big dipper and little dipper. It's a Reaction Innovations Dipper Series.
Gotcha. The spicy beavers have been flying off the shelf.
Let's see if we can't get one of them to come up schooling.
You gotta. What's your drop shot setup there? Rod, reel, and line.
This is a Castaway drop shot medium action rod. I got 10-pound test gamma fluorocarbon on here. Like I say, I'm more comfortable throwing it on this. There are times when I would throw it on a spinning reel, but in this kind of situation, the way I'm fishing now, there's nothing wrong with throwing it on this. Especially throwing it more like a Carolina rig per se. I'm casting it out and kind of reeling it back. Now if I was video fishing, I would definitely be using a spinning reel. There's another one. He must be swimming towards me. I can't catch up to him. Come on, fish.
Matthew Blake said, I love the Little Dipper on a quarter ball head.
I like the ball heads. I just happen not to have any. That's why I got that longer one on here. But sometimes this longer one doesn't get hung as easily in a lot of this trash and stuff that's down here. You know, the ball one works pretty good in rocks and such, but
it is dead calm out here today.
I mean, we are absolutely not moving. And I don't have spot lock on, but we are not moving.
I was about to ask you if you've been using spot lock or...
We are not moving either way. Come on.
So what do the spots do when there really isn't any current running?
To me now, a spot expert may tell me I'm wrong, but they just pull off out here and suspend, which is why I had that crankbait tied on. I mean, you can see on the Lowrance, there's just about everything out here is suspended. So, I mean, they just kind of get out here and hang out. And it's been my experience, suspended fish are the hardest to catch typically, whether it's largemouth or spots. So.
How far apart do you put your bait from the weight when fishing a drop shot?
I'm 12, 14 inches. I typically don't go too much longer than that. Look at that, he knocked slack in the line and don't have it. What's the deal? All right, I just caught one on this, but y'all hitting it, not taking it. Let's see if y'all hit this little ugly thing.
Get it out of the gene pool.
That's right. Kill it. Hey, and sometimes it's about just being different. I mean, we as fishermen get stuck on certain things, but I can tell you from experience, people think, I mean, may or may not realize how smart bass are. We had a 180-gallon aquarium and we had 2 bass in it. One was about 1.5 pounds, one was about 2 pounds. And we would come in with a bucket of minnows, and we'd each have one. Stephen would get at one end and I would get at the other to try to make sure one didn't just get all the minnows. Well, it didn't take too many times of doing that before we could walk in with a bucket and those bass would go to their respective corners and wait. And I'm not talking about the pound and a half or wasn't on this end sometimes and this end sometimes. It was always they went to their same corner. So that right there taught me that bass are a lot smarter than we think, and they get used to seeing, you know, everything. So sometimes just being a little different helps. But sometimes I'm not stupid either. I just got 2-3 bites on that drop shot. We're running out of time, so I'll keep chunking it. It ain't running where we sit. Come on, fish. Let us catch one more. Then we'll be in the 3-fish club. 3 fish and a bird. I will forever hold that record.
Yeah, the best I've got is watching Wes Logan feed ducks for about 10 or 15 minutes when back in November when we fished with some customers. Had a lot of fun. But
yeah, you know a bait's a good bait when you catch a bird. So ribbit's a good bait. You catch bass, it'll catch blue herons.
you had plenty strong line on, that's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't want to hurt him, so I was just trying to let him do what he wanted to do till we could get our hands on him.
Hey guys, if you missed it a while back, we had a blue heron or
gray heron, whichever one of them.
One of them big old birds fly right into her cast and had to get it unwrapped. Can't pay for entertainment like that.
No, you can't. And like you said, you can't make this stuff up.
Brandon Phillips said at least you had a birdie on the golf course.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
There is that.
Good job. I didn't think about it that way.
Big old turtle just popped up.
Dang, I see. Huh?
One more cast.
Okay. Then I'm gonna make my last cast with that crankbait, all these fish I see suspended. Just because. I just had another one hit it. That one feels like a little bit better. Do I still get one more cast?
Sure.
that loggerhead up there.
Come here.
Whew. All right.
Pretty spots. And boy, that gamakatsu hook gets them too. Pretty spot.
Oh yeah.
You got a broke fin. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Well, we didn't get skunked. They said I can make one more.
You can.
I was gonna throw the crankbait, but I think I'll throw this back. It just started because we made the comment a while ago. We were sitting completely still.
They turned on 2 generators at 9. Went from 1 to 2, so it's just getting here.
Sergeant Hurd asked what a fish look like on electronics. We seen anything? You mind if I sneak in underneath you here?
Oh, wrecker 1 cast.
These arches, I'll show you when I get back over some. It may be showing back there on the big one. But see, that's a fish right there. But now I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best at telling if Lawrence will ever make a graph that goes bass, crappie, catfish. They'll make a million.
It'll come eventually, I'm sure.
Depth finders for dummies, that's what I need.
Oh, that's awesome.
Seriously though, these Lawrences, they got, you know, I mean, they're computers on the boat. They got more functions, and I mean, they'll do everything if you know how to operate them. So.
Can't you put connect an iPad to that thing and let him watch videos while you're fishing?
Sure. He's done asked me if he could watch football.
Here's
Well,
a 16-inch.
You could put like the Westminster Kennel Show up there for Coosa.
There you go.
Let her pick her man.
All right.
We're gonna get Coosa married off.
I noticed she snuck one more cast in there.
That's all right. She's Pam Martin-Wells. She can do what she wants to for another 4 minutes.
Hey, y'all just don't know. I mean, I'm the kind that'll go just one more cast, just one more cast.
I got no problem with that. And you can stay out here and fish after we leave, but I gotta go back.
I've had several just knock slack in my line and not take it.
That current just picked up. They probably just got to going, and we're going to take you away from it.
Would y'all see them come up schooling the first fish I caught?
It was on
Could
the
y'all?
other side of the boat from us. Couldn't see it.
Yeah, I caught that fish right here, and just right over there, they were schooling.
Well, talk us through it, Pam. What were you thinking this morning when you started? Obviously, we put you on the spot on a very tough Neely Henry right now. And you started us off with a bang. We've never started a live like that before.
Hey, that was good. That got all my nerves out of the boat. At least I wasn't skunked, you know. But no, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the biggest mistake I see a lot of anglers make is not being versatile enough. And if you look at the deck of my boat, that would either mean that I'm very versatile or don't know what the heck I'm doing. But
In my case,
having said that, you know, I knew it was tough, and there's so many different things going on here. Some fish I'm sure are still spawning because we just had a big wave come up on Lake Seminole in the middle of May, which is odd. Post spawn, definitely had a shad spawn going on, hence the top water baits. Went in some of the grass, hoping to catch some largemouth, maybe garden fry or leftover from the shad spawn. And then of course, you know, fishing for the spots. But there again, you know, we had no water running, so it really made it tough. I actually wound up going down to a drop shot to actually catch those fish. So like I say, just being versatile, and that's what that's what I intended to do when I come out here, is not just run straight here and sit here and try to do this all day. Try to move around, show the viewers a variety of different things. I had 2 or 3 blow up on the ribbit. They're just short striking it. Well, I've had 2 or 3 just knock the crap out of this drop shot. I mean, knock slack in my line like a jig bite, and nothing be there. So I mean, they're biting funny. But I was just, like I say, trying to be versatile, throwing a little bit of everything. If we stayed out here all day, I would eventually throw everything on the deck of the boat. Until you figure out what works.
So when someone's looking at a situation like this and things are tough, what would be your best advice to an angler? Would it be find your strength, fish your strength to start with and try to develop that, or try something new?
No, definitely fish your strengths. I've had partners in the boat before, just constantly down in the bottom of the boat, changing baits, and I'm steadily catching fish, and they're like, what do I need to do? And I'm like, you need to pick whatever you like, whatever you've got confidence in, and fish it, and then go from there, because I guarantee you will not catch a fish on something you have no confidence in. It just ain't gonna happen.
And colors can be that too. It was just Stephen and I were talking about how he loves a black ribbit. But, and logic. It's shad spawn time, try something white, and you said, you just got a bite on that, don't?
That's right.
Same thing. It can be color, it could be the bait, it could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, but...
Interrupted her.
Dadgummit.
It wouldn't have counted anyway.
Why? Oh, it's a giant! It's a giant! It's a giant! It's a giant! I do hope he's not still alive.
Oh, we are.
Oh, Lord.
That's awesome.
Oh, well. You know what?
It counts. It's on the internet now.
When you're fishing, it don't matter the size. Hey, it's all about having fun.
Well, I'm not sure that they can hear you with this mic system. It just occurred to me.
That's all right. As long as they hear her, that's what matters.
Well, I think that's a good way to end it, don't you?
I do.
That'll work.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you are looking for something to do and you want to come check out these camises, come meet Earl Bentz. We're going to head back to the shop. And
Pam and Steven.
Yep, Pam's going to be here. Who else is the Harts or...
Jason Hart and his wife Tracy are going to be there. They're our Camus crappie pros. And I think right now, Steven's fixing to try to get over there and get something.
Uh-oh.
He's fixing to get over there. There's an important thing in that.
He wants to get in his biscuit drawer.
The biscuit drawer here on the Camus. What are we going to... Oh!
He's got biscuits.
All right, guys. With that, since I'm here, I might grab one.
Hey,
We'll talk to you guys later.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. Just remember, take a kid fishing. Not necessarily kid fishing. Take your wife fishing. Take your husband fishing. Take a teenager fishing. Just get out in the outdoors and enjoy all that the good Lord's given us.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next time.